What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Today we're going to be flying from St. Louis to New Orleans. Today's a little bit more special than usual. We're going to be flying on Vatsim. There is one controller on right now, but he's center, so center usually covers everything underneath of him. So we will have everything all the way up until we leave his airspace. We're going to be flying a real flight. It's Southwest Airlines 1653. And I haven't done anything in the plane. I do want to get inside the plane and get our clearance done before we lose any of our ATC or anything like that. So let's go ahead and jump inside the plane. We'll start our pre-flight checklist. We'll get our park and brake set to on, which I gotta plug in. I gotta plug in my pedals. I forgot. There we are. So we'll get them plugged in. We'll click keep default and escape out of that. All right, we'll hold the brakes in. Toggle the brake on. There we are. Battery switch can come on. We'll go to the overhead panel. We'll get our battery switch turned on. Electric hydraulic pumps can come on. Ground power we can get connected to. Landing gear lever is down. We'll do our fire and APU warnings. Make sure all this is working right. And then as soon as we finish our checklist here, turn this to the right. We'll jump on frequency and try and get our clearance. Engine, APU, position lights can come on. We'll jump back up here. We'll go ahead and toggle on. Position lights already on. Wing lights can come on. Engine bleed switches are already on. IRSs can be set to nav. Emergency exit lights, no smoking, and seatbelt signs can come on. Flap lever is up. Speed brake lever is forward. Galley switch, window heats can come on. Galley switch is right here, which is on. Window heats 1, 2, 3, and 4 can come on. Probe heats will stay off, and we're ready to hop on our frequency. So our frequency today is 125.75. So let's go ahead and get that in. 125.75. There we are. We'll go ahead and jump on frequency there. And I don't think anybody is talking right now. Here, let me just pull this over real quick. I was just doing our clearance, you know, kind of preparing our clearance before we went. That's what this chart was. We're going to be taking off a runway 12. I forget if it's left or right. I'll take a look in a second, but our top clearance on that departure is 5,000, which is what I was looking at there. We can go ahead and close this out. Here is our route, pretty much just flying straight up south until we get down there. But yeah, let's go ahead and see if he's available, and we'll grab our clearance if we are able to. I believe we're talking to Kansas Center, and I need to write down my call sign because I'm not used to Southwest Airlines. We are 1653. So let's go ahead and queue up. All right, we're good. Let's go ahead and call him and see if we can't get that clearance. Kansas Center, good evening. Southwest Airlines 1653, looking for IFR clearance to New Orleans. Let's see if we don't get a read back here. Nothing yet. 125725. We are on the right. 125. Oh, that's why. We are on the wrong frequency. 725. 125. 725. There we go. Now we're on the live frequency. Whoops. All right, we'll give that another shot. Make sure we're not interrupting anybody here. Kansas Center, good evening. Southwest 1653, looking for IFR clearance to New Orleans.
Southwest 1653, Kansas City Center. Clear to the Nolans International Airport via 26 departure Myers transition and as filed. Fly via said departure frequency will be this frequency, squawk 4734.
Clear to New Orleans via Chuck 6 departure Myers transition. Fly via the SID. Departure frequency 125.725. I apologize. What was that squawk?
4734.
34. Squawk 4734, Southwest 1653. All right.
Southwest 1653, readback is correct. Information Bravo is current. Altimeter 3026. Expect runway 12 right for departure. Advise ready taxi.
12 right departure will advise for taxi Southwest 1653. All right, there we go.
148 are now funky.
That's not it. So we'll go ahead and turn him down a little bit.
Runway 12 right, clear for takeoff.
And okay, so he basically cleared us our flight plan that we filed. So we're just going to put all of our flight plan information in. We're at our F&C. We have to program that. So we'll go ahead and jump in here. And basically from here, we're just going to do what we would normally do and start filing our flight plan. Now, I'm going to try and find a level at which I can let you guys continue to listen to the ATC, but not where it's like overriding me. That way you guys can still hear me. Okay, we'll go to FS actions and we'll start out with payload. And our zero fuel weight today is going to be 116089. 116 point, we'll say 1. Oh, what am I doing? 116.1. We'll go ahead and drop that into our zero fuel weight. And we'll go ahead and hit return. We'll go to fuel. And our block fuel today is going to be 14736. 14736. Put that in there. There we go. We'll hit return. Go back. FMC. Position in it. And we'll go next page. We'll grab left GPS. We'll go back. We'll paste that in here. And our airport is K... what airport do we take it on? KSTL. KSTL. So we'll go ahead and drop that into reference. We'll go ahead and head over to route. We'll put origin KSTL. Destination is KMS. Is it P or Y? Yeah, Y. Not Mississippi. All right. Flight number is going to be Southwest Airlines 1653. Drop that in there. And we'll head over to our next page and we'll start putting in our flight plan. Looks like we're staying on Juliet 35 pretty much the whole way. So we're going to put in Myers, MEM, J35, and then MCB. And that's going to be our everything we need to put in because it'll fill in everything in between as I showed you guys in a previous video there. So we'll go ahead and put MYERZ. MYERZ. We're going to fly direct to that. Then we're going to fly direct to MEM. MEM. Go ahead and put that in there. And then Juliet 35.
Working 148, radio contact, CLT living.
And then MCB.
3000.
Working 148,
drop that in there.
I maintain 50290.
And that's our flight plan. We'll go activate, execute, and we'll go to departure and arrivals.
Wind 0908, runway 12 right, clear for takeoff.
Someone's taking off. We'll depart. 12 right is going to be our departure. This is hard. I keep getting distracted listening to them. It's a little harder than I thought. All right, here, and then this is going to be our transition. We'll execute. We'll head over to departure arrival. Our arrival is going to be runway 11, so ILS 11, and it's going to be the Rhythm 4 arrival. Rhythm 4. And the MCB transitions. Go ahead and hit execute on that. We'll head back over to legs. We'll go through this in plan mode and make sure we have everything right. And we'll step through. All right, we have a discontinuity there. That's okay. We'll fill that in. Actually, I don't know if I want to do that. Erase that. Let's go previous page. This may be... Oh, yeah, I guess we do want to do that. So I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a downwind flight, and I'm going to extend that down a little bit and then turn and capture our ILS because this is very close. So I'm actually going to leave that discontinuity there, and we'll do a manual vector once we get there. Everything else looked fine though, so we can go ahead and go back to map mode and we can continue with our flight plan down here. So we'll go ahead and go into init ref. Our cruise altitude is going to be 360. At 360, let's get our winds. It's going to be 241101. 241/101. We'll go ahead and drop that into here. Zero fuel weight again. Whoa, I gotta click off screen when I go to scroll on my other screen. Zero fuel weight 116.1. 116.1. Drop that in there. We did 0.5 in reserves. Our cost index is going to be 48. And we can go and execute that. We'll head over N1 limit. Takeoff configuration 1. We'll head over to takeoff. We're gonna do a flaps 5 departure, give us our trim there. And let's grab our ASUS was Bravo, I think they said. Which we could, well, I mean, we should technically tune to that frequency. All right, yeah, you know what? Since you guys probably want to see more realism, let's just tune to that frequency. It's going to be 125025. So 125025. That's going to be our ATIS. Let's give that a listen if it's still on. 125025. Doesn't sound like they're active right now, which they were. So we'll go ahead and switch back over to here. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that, so we'll just do it from here. But it is live weather, so it's going to be the same anyway. Right here. All right, we're looking at altimeter 3026, which is what he gave us. Derp 3026. I was doing the wrong one. Our winds are 090 at 8 knots. So we could jump down here, go to next page. 090 at 8 knots. Drop that in there. We'll go back. V1, VR, V2. Everything else looks fine on here. We don't really need anything else on here. Let's go ahead and close out of that.
We'll be back in 3 minutes.
It looks like our controller is going to the bathroom or something. All right, init ref, N1 limit. We did take off. Everything looks good here. Second page, everything's good there. I think we have this programmed for now. I don't think there's anything I'm forgetting. But before I do forget, I want to set this to 360 because I will forget to do that. 360. Let's get our airport altitude here. We're looking at 617 feet. We'll put 617 or 650, I guess, or 600. Yeah, we would round down. We'll put 600 in there. And what else we got to do here? We got to jump down here, and we got to put in our altitude here. 36, or I guess 5,000 is what we're climbing to. So this is one of those scenarios. Normally I go right to our altitude if you watch my other videos, but today we're climbing via the SID. And if you take a look here, our SID, which is our standard instrument departure, calls for us to climb at a heading of 123. So let's put that heading in.
I can't see your stairs back.
Let's go up. 123. What's our departure speeds here? 135. We'll set this to 135. All right, so we're climbing up to 5,000 until we are told otherwise. We're departing runway 12 right. So right here, climb heading 123 degrees, or 123, heading 123, to 1120. Then direct Hefner, cross Hefner at or above 2,500. Then on depicted route to Chuck. Our top altitude is 5,000, so we're not going to go above 5,000 until we are cleared to our cruise altitude. I think that's pretty much where we're at. So now I'll pull up the taxi chart here. Open charts, taxi chart. We're going to 12 right, which is right here. So we're probably going to get Delta, cross runway 6 at Delta to 12 right. It's probably something along those lines is going to be our instructions. So FMC is programmed before start checks. Flight director 1 and 2 can come on. Auto throttle switch is off. IAS Mach indicator is set. Heading selector is set. Altitude is set. Autopilot disengage bars up. Thrust levers are idle. Verify here. Stabilizer trim. Yes, we have to do that. It is 6.5 is our stabilizer trim. I always almost forget to do our stabilizer trim, which is why it's good to have these checklists, because it's very easy to forget these things. 6.5 we'll say is right about there. All right, stabilizer trim set, auto brake set to RTO. APU, jump up here, we'll go ahead and get our APU started. And we'll let our APU come to life. Today we're going to jump down here and we're actually going to be putting in a squawk. That's going to be 4734. So 4734. We're going to set this to standby. We'll run a test on it. We're also going to go overhead here. We'll run a test on these. Everything's looking good there. Test is passed. We're good there. And we're just waiting for our APU to stabilize, which it is about to. And then once it does, APU, we'll get our APU bleed switch turned on. As soon as this blue light lights up, we'll go on our APU power.
Southwest 2606, departing airspace to the south. Memphis is offline. Radar service terminated. Biggest change to advisory approved. Have a safe flight down to the old McCoy Air Force Base.
All right. APU generators are on.
2606. I appreciate it tonight, sir. Hope you get you some rest here soon. Have a good night.
No rest for the wicked. We have F&O tomorrow.
Fuel pumps come on. APU generator switches on. Seatbelt signs are on. Flight deck doors and windows are closed. Anti-collision lights.
I'm completely oblivious as to what that is, so.
And
F&O,
ground services.
Usually every Friday there's an event at a major airport within VAT USA. Sometimes there's breaks, Fridays off, but Friday F&O is Friday night off, so you can plan usually every Friday having a full staff up at a major airport.
I'm going to turn them down for a second. We are ready for our pushback and our starts. We'll go ahead and call for our tug. And we'll go ahead and switch this over to the right engine, or left engine, I guess. And we'll turn this over to ground in just a second. And I will turn the ATC back on in a second. I think they're just having a quick little private conversation. Or not private, but an unrelated conversation. Oh, I forgot to change this to the modern version. I always forget to do that on this plane when I fly Southwest. All right, ground, we'll get this right engine going. We're looking for 2022 on the N2. Oh wait, are we doing this right? What's the problem here? Oh, turn that to continuous. All right, there we go. Engine is coming to life. And we'll give it some fuel in just a second. And there we go. Give it fuel. We'll let that engine come up. We're not going to push back too far because we are on Vatsim. We'll probably pull up to that area up there for our taxi. We'll stop our taxi here in just a second. Probably right around now. We'll go ahead and stop that. And we'll go ahead and toggle our brake back on. There we are. All right, is our engine up? Yes, it is. We'll get our left engine going. And we'll get our taxi lights on here and everything in just a second. We did get our position light or anti-collision light on. We're good there. Just making sure we didn't forget anything. There's 20. We'll go ahead and give it fuel. Get our second engine up and going. While we're doing that, I think we could toggle on our yaw damper and it'll stay on now. And then we'll do our after start checks in just a minute. We're almost ready here. All right, I know today was a little bit rushed, but this controller has been on for a while, so I kind of rushed the flight plan. I actually ended up having to change the flight plan because the original one, the controller got off. So I changed the flight plan so that I could get a flight with, you know, with that on Vatsim with ATC. So that is why I'm kind of rushing, because I want to get the full effect of them for you guys for the whole departure. Once I'm at cruise, we're not going to have any more ATC, but I thought giving you some experience with it would be fun. But all right, let's do our after start checks. Engine generator switch 1 and 2 is on. APU bleed switch can come off, and our APU can come off as well. Probe heat switches 1 and 2 can come on. Master caution recall. No alerts or alarms. Engine wing anti-ice we don't need. Packs we can set to auto. Isolation valve we can set to auto. Taxi clearance, we'll get that in just a second. We'll jump down here. We're going to set this to squawk mode C to let them know that we are just about ready for taxi. Taxi lights will get turned on. Runway turnoff lights will come on. Flaps will set to 5. And that looks like everything is good to go. We'll go ahead and left, right, forward, back, rudders. And we're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and release our brakes. We're going to start a short taxi just over to the taxi line, or to the, you know, to the edge of the aprons. That way we can call in for our taxi clearance. And we'll see what he gives us. He's probably going to give us Delta cross runway 6, 12 right.
Special aircraft, St. Louis Airport, information Charlie is now current altimeter 3026, no significant changes.
Alright, so information Charlie. We'll go ahead and hold short here. And we'll go ahead and do Charlie. Alright, we'll call in and we'll get our taxi clearance now, if we can. And who was I calling? Kansas Center. Normally I wouldn't be calling Kansas Center. I'd be calling like the airport ground. But alright. Kansas Center, Southwest 1653, ready for taxi.
Southwest 1653, runway 12 right, taxi via Charlie, cross runway 6.
12 right, Charlie, cross runway 6, Southwest 1653. Alright. So we're taking Charlie, which is this one, I believe, that is directly in front of us. I think it's this one. If you take a look at the chart here, this is Charlie. We'll take Charlie all the way down and we'll line up. All right, let's move that over. We're good to go. We'll give ourselves a little bit of throttle here. So I kind of choked up there for a second because I wrote 12RC CR6, and the whole Charlie thing in the CR6 messed me up. So 12 right, taxi via Charlie, cross runway 6 is what the CR6 was, cross runway 6. That's how I wrote it, so it kind of mixed me up there for a second. All right, this is going to be our Charlie taxiway. We're going to take this down. We're cleared to run cross runway 6, and we're cleared to hold short of runway 12 right until he clears us to line up and wait, or line up and depart, whichever one he does. If you guys are enjoying this, be sure to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. That'd be pretty cool if I did. But yeah, I'm gonna keep on doing flights. I'm gonna try and do more Vatsim flights. I know this is the first, but this is the first of many. They're a lot more fun, a lot more immersive when you fly with ATC. So I will try and make sure that happens. All right, continuing down Charlie. How fast we going? We can speed up a little bit. All right, we can slow down there. We'll hold it at 20. Here is runway 6. We'll go ahead and cross runway 6. There we are. It's clear to me. He may give us instruction to line up and wait.
Here, flight 1210, departing Mary Station to the south. Memphis is offline radio service. Terminated, frequent change to advisory is approved. Have a good night.
Roger that, head over to advisory, and thank you for your services tonight, sir. I guess I'll be the country flight 12.
I got far, I could barely hear
Thanks
him.
for flying out.
The Vatsim stuff is really cool because you it works by range too, which I thought was really cool. So if people are far away, they're going to be far more staticky and more difficult to hear. I think we have to turn here. Yeah.
Southwest 1653 RNAV Hester wind 0908 runway 12 right clear for takeoff.
12 right clear for takeoff Southwest 1653. All right, so he just cleared us for takeoff, so we'll go ahead and line up. We kind of butchered that turn a little bit. We'll get our auto throttle turned on. Our engine start switches can go to continuous. We're going to slow down just a little bit here. Transponders on. Landing lights and strobe lights can come on. So landing lights and strobes are on. We'll get ourselves out on the runway, and we have been cleared for departure. All right. And there we are. We'll go ahead and hit this invisible toga switch. We'll listen for our call outs, and ATC is going to give us some instructions shortly after departure that we're going to have to try and repeat back. So let's go. Keep the nose down. A little right rudder.
knots.
80 knots, cross-checked.
E1. Rotate.
Rotating.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Nose down a little bit just to get that speed. Keep that speed up. All right, we'll get our flaps in. So VNAV, LNAV, and we can go right on to the autopilot if we want to. There we are. VNAV on, LNAV on. Go ahead and pull this down. We'll get our taxi lights and everything off. Flaps are in. Auto brakes can come off. Autopilot is on. There's a wing view. All right. And we're waiting for a contact to break our 5,000 altitude, which we're going to start a short turn here in a second. Beautiful down there. And we're probably leveling off at 5,000 until we get cleared higher. Probably why the engines are coming down like that. We are at speed. Yep, we're coming up on altitude here. And we'll wait for him to give us clearance. Basically, we're just going to fly.
Southwest 1653, ready to contact altitude.
Oh, we're at 5,000, holding at 5,000, Southwest 1653.
Southwest 1653, thank you. I maintain follow 360.
Up to 360, Southwest 1653. All right, we are cleared up to our altitude. 360. Whoop. There we are. And then I think we need to do a altitude intervene in order to start climbing. There we are. And we are on our way to our cruise altitude. Beautiful. Great departure, very smooth. It was a lot calmer today than usual. I mean, when you were running with ATC,
Kansas City Center, lane storm 20.
sometimes there's a lot of people online and it gets a little rushed. But that went very well.
We're 2185 Golf, Kansas City Center.
Kansas City Center, number 25 Golf. We're General Aviation north of Kansas City. Information Charlie. Request RNAV RMP 11 VFR flight following direct to Herbie at 5,000 as possible.
All right, just listening to ATC.
Okay,
there.
you're looking at departing to the RNF RP runway 11.
That is correct, yes, sir.
Looks like it's requesting a specific approach, which you can do. You can request that stuff.
2851 Golf, clearance available, advise ready to copy.
The copy for minus 285 Golf.
2851 Golf, cleared to St. Louis Airport via rated vectors direct on departure. Maintain 4000, departure frequency, this frequency, squawk 4745.
Okay, center Lance 285 Golf has cleared to St. Louis via vectors direct departures with you and squawk after departure 4000 and squawk 4745.
Sounded good to me.
2851 Golf, readback is correct information. Pilot is current, expect runway 12 left for departure, advise ready taxi.
Okay, we're ready to taxi to 12 left, and we are with information Charlie for Lance 285 Golf.
85 Golf, runway 12 left, taxi via Victor, Foxtrot Sierra, cross runway 24.
Okay, Victor, Foxtrot, Sierra, cross runway 24 to 12 left for 85 Golf.
Normally I'd be doing a lot more talking
And
here,
what
but
base did you
I'm just
want
kind
to
of
start the
enjoying
RNF Zulu
listening.
from?
We're looking for Herbie, Hotel Romeo, Bravo, Echo, Echo.
Roger, you can expect that.
Okay.
Jumping to wing view.
Air Mexico 976, departing airspace to the south. Memphis is offline, radar service terminated for exchange to advisors approved. Good night.
All right, we're at 14,000. We're climbing up to our 18,000. Once we get to our 18,000, we will pick up how we normally do and go into a time-lapse mode. Again, there's not going to be any ATC on arrival because there's nobody online to the airport we're going to at this time. So unfortunately, you will not get any ATC on the arrival. But I will try and do a flight where we can get full coverage ATC as soon as I can. It's a little hard to coordinate sometimes, but I will try and coordinate it to make it happen because I do enjoy flying with ATC for sure. But if you guys want me to do more ATC videos, let me know. Flying on Vatsim.
976. I'll go to Unico 22.80. Thank you for the ATC.
Air Mexico 976, thanks for the traffic. Have a good night.
You too as well. Good day.
All right, there's our 18,000. We'll go ahead and go into standard mode. And at this time, we're going to go ahead and jump up in the front window. And this is where we will start our time lapse. I'll see you guys once we are a little bit closer to our descent. I hope you guys enjoy the flight. Back. We are on our descent. We are at 28,000 feet and continuing down. I'll show you where we are on our descent here, or on our arrival. This is where we are. We just entered into our arrival. Now, what I said before is we're going to fly down to this waypoint. That's going to be our end waypoint. And then we are going to do a manual vector in this direction. And we can probably even figure out exactly what that vector needs to be. If we take a look at the airport chart, airport, I guess just airport, because we need to be running parallel to this. So that's going to be 286, I believe, is the direction we're going to want to fly. 286. So we can go ahead and put that on here if we want to. I'm gonna put that 286. And we'll just put it in a manual heading mode once we get a little bit closer. But other things we need to do is get our approach information, which we're going to be arriving on runway 11. Our frequency is going to be 109.9. Our final approach course is going to be 106. And our altimeter needs to be, or our barometer, landing barometer needs to be 104. So let's get this stuff put into the plane now. And that way we have it ready. We'll jump down here. Looks like 109.9 is going to go into our navs. 109.9, and we'll go ahead and move that over. Same thing here, 109.9. We'll go ahead and move that over. So that is ready for that. We'll do our approach course is going to be 106. And we'll do it on this side as well. There we are, 106. And our landing barometer is going to be 104. So we'll go ahead and put that in. Bring this down. There we go, 104 on our barrel right there. We'll zoom that back out. We're coming down to 22,000 feet. I have to get our altimeter for this airport for our arrival. So bear with me while I do that on my other screen here. MSY, we're looking at winds are calm, 0 by 0. Altimeter is 3006. So we'll go ahead and program that in a minute. I set our altitude down to 5,000. And we're pretty much going to maintain that through our downwind. And once we start our left turn, we'll bring it down a little bit more to like 3,000 to intercept our ILS course. We can do our, well, not all our descent checks, but pretty soon we'll get our seatbelt signs on and everything. What we can do is we could jump down here and do our arrival information. So we're going to be flaps 30, 131 knots plus 5. So we're looking at about 136 on our speed. Everything else is good to go. We're just going to follow this descent down. We're at 20,000 feet. We're looking for 18,000 for our transition altitude. We could definitely zoom this in. There we are. And let's move this for a second. Let's take a look here. Looks like all our altitudes are in here. Once it's at 4,000 at this waypoint, which is going to be that waypoint that we intercept after our downwind, I believe. Yes. So that's perfect because I have it set to 5,000. So I'll hold 5,000 on that turn. We'll take it down to 4,000. That works out perfectly. All right, there's 18,000. We're about to cross below it. So 3006 was our altimeter. We'll go ahead and set that now. Is that 36? That's 3008. Still 36. There we go. Altimeter is set. Seatbelt signs, we can go ahead and toggle those on. Let the crew know we're getting ready for our approach soon. Air conditioning and pressures. Everything looks fine there. Engine wing anti-ice, we don't need. Transition altitude, we did. Engine start switches can go to continuous. I'll set those continuous. FMC, we set to arrival / approach. So we're good there. We don't have to do anything until we get to our approach checks. Still window view. Beautiful. Little bit of clouds. Our flight had a little bit of turbulence, believe it or not, which we don't usually run into. We did go through some clouds too. We were kind of gliding right at the top of the clouds there for a little bit until they cleared up. But I would say about 15 minutes we'll be on the ground, maybe something around there. I will have timestamps if you guys want to skip ahead and skip around to the points that you like, but I'd say about 15 minutes we'll probably be on the ground. Just on the other side of this water is the airport. Lake. Oh, I don't even know how to say that. Here, let's see if you guys can figure it out right here. Pontchartrain? What kind of name is that? I don't know. I'm probably butchering that, but I tried. What are you gonna do? Let's set this to night. I like when this is at nighttime better. But all right. We are at 15,000 feet, continuing down. Once we hit our 10,000 feet, we'll do our landing lights. Until then, we're just kind of cruising down. We could put some of these panel lights on. It does seem kind of dark in here, doesn't it? Even though it's not. It's not very dark in here at all, but for some reason, it seems dark. At least the buttons do. I noticed that when I was actually putting in the flight plan. I was like, yeah, these buttons seem a little bit dark, but it didn't bother me too much, so we just left it. We're right on our descent path. Everything is looking good. Down to 14,000 feet. I think we have to be at like 11,000 feet. Oh, 9,800 at that next waypoint, which is right here, which is, I believe that's where we're starting our right turn. Let me see. Yeah, which is going to be 286. All right, so once we hit that waypoint in 10 miles, we'll start that right turn. If we can get this in real quick, we'll set our fixes. What is this? KMSY. We'll put it in there. And we'll do /5 and /10. And there we are. We have our fixes. So we can see how far we are from the airport. All right, good. We got about 10 miles. And then we'll go into a manual heading. We'll just go into heading select. I think yeah, we're about to go over the water now. Very hazy out here. Maybe it's just because the sun is like, it's not really near the horizon, I don't think. I don't know where the sun is. Right out there though. Let's see if we can find it. There it is. Maybe that's why it seems hazy. The way the sun's like reflecting. It seems a little hazy out here though. All right, and then after that, we're gonna have to move this waypoint to the top and hit execute in order to do a direct to. It's kind of how it works in this plane. But looking good so far. I don't think I see the airport. I'm not sure where it is. It's somewhere right in here. Somewhere. About 5 miles, so we have to start that manual vector. What do we got over here? What is that? Is that a bridge? I don't know what that is. Let's say there's no way that's a bridge. Is that a bridge? If you guys know if that's a bridge or not, let me know in the comments. I've never seen that. All right, coming up on that waypoint. We're gonna go ahead and cross that waypoint before we toggle this heading select. And there we are, and we'll go ahead and go into heading select, start that right turn. And we're gonna pitch down so that we can catch up to our glide path. Nothing exciting, just over water. Not much to see there. We actually probably could have flown in a little bit closer, but that's all right. We're about 10 miles away from the airport doing our downwind. We definitely could have done it a little bit closer, but that's okay. I think we'll be able to zoom this out a little bit. Yeah, we're just gonna go slightly past it. I mean, we're not like normal where we go like really far past it. We'll go just a little bit past it. That way we can get a little bit of an angle and come in to intercept our glide slope and everything. But that worked out fine. It looks like we're moving pretty parallel to it. I can actually even move this over a little bit if I wanted to. So yeah, let's do that. Let's normally we would get vectored on this, so we're just gonna move it back just a little bit. That way we're not perfectly parallel. We're kind of moving a little bit closer, and then when we start that turn, it'll make a little bit more sense. But we'll keep our altitude down to 5,000. We're not going to go down to 4,000 yet. And let's pull up the runway and see where we're gonna be. Okay, so terminals are on the left and the right. So we can get off on the right. I wonder if this has other charts on here that tell me. Oh, there we go. So if we wanted to do what the real flight did, we would be looking for Bravo 2 would be, which I think there's Bravo 2 right there, but is that on, that's on this side. So Bravo 2 is on the opposite side, all the way on the inside. So we would have to go up to here, which we could do that. We can go all the way into Bravo 2. That's fine. All right, let's pull this back up. This is where we are. I guess we don't need that up. We could pull up our approach though for runway 11. Here we go. So we're gonna have to be at 2000 to intercept the ILS, which I think we'll probably get established before then, but we gotta be at 2000. So we're gonna move that back over here. We'll probably get established at either 4,000 or 3,000. Probably get established pretty quick after that turn. But everything's looking good so far. We are, well, forgot to turn the landing lights on. We are below 10,000. Auto brakes, we're going to get set to 2. Master caution recall, we're good on both sides. Speed brake, we can go ahead and arm that for now. Flaps, landing gear, and taxi light is all we have left on our approach checks. So we're just going to keep on flying this for now. Let's see where we're at. We're coming up on that left turn pretty soon. So if we move this here and move it up to here, it'll start giving us, well, you can't see it because the word's in the way, but it gives us a white arcing line, which shows us the angle that we're going to come into that waypoint and at what point we're going to intercept it. So right now we're pretty much parallel to it. As far if we were to make that turn now, we want to fly up a little bit more before we do that. Coming down to 5,000 feet, and I'm actually going to bring it down. We'll do 4,500, and then after that turn we'll bring it down to 5,000. Once we start that turn, we will activate some of our we'll get some of our flaps out. All right, so let's look at this again. Let's zoom this in. So now you can see the angle of that line. So let's just give a little bit more, maybe about 2 more miles, and then we'll start that turn and we should get a nice angle. We could actually probably start it right about now. But we'll go ahead and execute that, and we'll get ourselves down to 4,000. And there we are. Oh, we got to come out of heading select, go to LNAV. There we are. I was wondering why we weren't starting that turn. Lots of trees out here. Or swamps, I guess. All right, we're going to hold at 4,000. We'll go ahead and get some flaps in. We'll go 2 notches of flaps, which is, I don't even know what degrees that is. Let's see. 2 degrees? I don't know. 1 degree, 2 degree, 5 degree, 10 degree. I'm assuming that those are written in degrees. And we can go ahead and arm our localizer because we do have it down here. We also have our glide slope up here. So we should have a positive capture on both of them pretty quickly, it seems. What waypoint are we going to? We should be going to, oh, okay, we're doing a 45-degree intercept. All right, so it flew that a little wonky, but it's okay. It's because we were so far out, I think, and the turn wasn't tight. So what it does is it always intercepts a line at a 45-degree angle. So it overturned it to capture it at that 45-degree, and now we are directly on that, directly headed towards that waypoint. We got the runway lights in sight down here. A little bit of fog or haze or something, clouds going on here, but we do have the runway. We do have our glide slope and we do have our localizer. So we're hoping to capture on the localizer as soon as we hit this waypoint. Start that left-hand turn, get captured on the glide slope, and ride that straight down. I think we're supposed to be at 4,000. Yeah, 4,000 at that waypoint. We could actually bring it down to 3,500. Whoop. We got to do altitude intervene. We can go 1 and 2 for flaps. I don't know why we're not going down to 3,500. Nope. All right, well, there's that. We'll go ahead and toggle on our approach and see if we don't capture that glide slope as well. And it looks like we did. So we were able to capture both of them, which I wasn't expecting to do like that. We are at flaps 10. I think that's our max before we have to put our gear down. So we'll go ahead and get our taxi lights on. We'll go ahead and drop our gear. We are on our approach, so we'll go ahead and bring our speeds down. We'll say about 145. Once our gear drops, we'll get our flaps extended all the way, and we are perfectly on our approach at this point. There's absolutely no winds. I'll probably end up doing a hand flight down to the ground. Now, this does have a Cat 3 approach, but I don't think we're going to do the Cat 3 approach. I think I'm just going to hand fly it. Another notch of flaps. Flaps, landing gear, taxi light switches. Engines are shut to continuous. Taxi light switches are on. Landing lights are on. Seatbelt signs are on. Speed brake is armed. Auto brakes are set. We're looking good. We're at about 10 miles from the airport. Once we get to about 5, I'll go full flaps. I could probably go full flaps now. I'm not really sure what the protocol on that is, but we could probably do, yeah, let's just do it. Let's get a little closer. I don't know what, like, when a real pilot would actually be fully configured. I would assume they'd probably be fully configured between 10 and 5 miles, or 5 and 10 miles, however you want to say it. But we do have runway in sight. We have our runway lights. Still a little haze, like a little cloud cover in there. I know you guys see that, and that's interesting. Maybe it's because of all the moisture from the water and stuff. I don't know. All right, we'll go full flaps. This would go to 2,000 for a missed approach. And we would climb right turn to 2,000 heading 130. We could set this to 130 for our missed approach. There we are, 130. Looking good. We'll drop our speeds down to 140. I think 136 was our landing speed. Looks like some weathering on that wing. There's a nice wing view. See the flaps and everything. Still seeing that haze out there. Right off the edge of the wing there. Alright, we'll bring our speeds down 135. Right at the end, we'll bring them down a little bit more. We'll go bring them down to 132. See our shadow right there. Getting low. Happy lights look good. We got 2 white, 2 red. We're good on, man, look at that haze out there. It must be a storm or something going on the other side of this airport. Like, probably not a storm, but that's wild. We could speed this up a little bit. We don't want to fall too below our glide slope here. I'm going to toggle off the autopilot here shortly. All right, we'll toggle that off. We're going to hand fly it. We have some trees here, which I don't think would actually be here. So we're going to nose up a little bit to avoid those trees. And then now we're going to go ahead and bring it back down. Because we were descending a little bit quickly, it seemed. Like right into them trees, essentially. But I am hand flying it at this point. We'll try and recapture our glide slope, which we're about to. There we go. We'll just let the nose fall a little bit. Controlled, nice and gentle. Go a little bit right. Try and get ourselves a little more centered. There we are. We're coming right in.
50. 30. 10.
All right, and we are down. We'll go ahead and give ourselves some reverse thrust. We probably don't even need reverse thrust, to be honest. All right, we'll go ahead and cut that. Are we going to be able to get off here? I think so. Excellent. We'll go ahead and taxi right off here at this taxiway. Excellent. All right. And welcome to New Orleans. All right, we'll pull past this taxi line here, and then we'll take a look at where we are. We'll do our after landing checks, and we'll get ourselves over to our terminal. So we'll go ahead and hold here. There we are. Go ahead and get our brake on. There we are. All right, landing lights can come off. All these freaking switches. I need to change these to the modern ones. Strobe lights can go back to steady. Taxi lights are on. Flaps can go back to normal. I have a hotkey for that. We'll go ahead and set that up. Brake lever can be unarmed. Transponder can go to standby. Engine start switches can go back to off. And our APU can be started. We'll go ahead and get our APU started. There we are. We'll go ahead and pull over our chart here. Let's take a look at our taxi chart. Figure out where we have to go. Airports. Taxi chart. All right, so we'll take this first right here. We'll jump on, looks like Gulf. And we'll take that right down to our terminal. Pretty easy. So we'll go ahead and release our parking brakes. Give ourselves a little bit of throttle. It seems like the terminal looks different than it does on the taxi chart, so I'm not particularly sure it's going to work out on this side. I don't really believe it, but I guess we'll see. The terminal doesn't seem to really look too much like the taxi chart, but maybe it is. Maybe we're just not close enough to really see it. But we are here. Auto brakes can be turned to off as well. We don't need them on anymore. And we'll head straight down. We're not going to make this left here. We're going to continue straight down, following Gulf. And the terminal should be here. Maybe right on the other side of this wall or this building. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see them now. All right, that works. All right, if you guys enjoyed this flight, definitely hit the like button. Share if you know anybody that might like it. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. First flight with Vatsim. I know it was only partial coverage, but we will do more, and I'll try and get full coverage. I'll also, you know, if I can, I'll get some approach and arrival coverage. That way you guys can experience that as well, since you just kind of saw the takeoff. And we only had one controller on it, which only the center was on. But the way Vatsim works is center would cover everything under it. So center would cover like departure, approach, tower, ground, clearance. It covers everything. Can we make a left here? Okay, this is a very, very weird terminal. So we're going to scratch that and we're going to go over here. So the actual terminals that are showing up on Navigraph here are not actually there. I thought they were. So we'll just go across. We'll pick a terminal. It's not going to be the Bravo terminal like the actual flight, but that's okay. I wish I would have known that before I flew here. I would have just taxied down the runway and got off on the right side instead of taking the left exit there. But it's all right. We'll cross the runway here. We don't have any planes coming in there. No planes coming in here. And we'll just taxi straight in here. We'll pick one of these terminals. Maybe the left one. Do this corner one maybe. Yeah, we'll do that. Start slowing down. We'll make a left turn. I see our taxi line. There we are. And we'll start slowing down. I'll have to look and see if there's any sceneries for this airport. It'd be pretty cool if there were. All right, and we'll go ahead and stop there. We're gonna apply our brakes and we'll do our after parking checks, or parking checks, I guess. Parking brakes set. Seatbelt signs can come off. No smoking signs can come off. APU generator switch. We'll get our bleed on. APU generator switch is on. We're now on our APU. Fuel cutoff switches. We can go ahead and cut our engines down just like that. We'll go back over top. Ground power, we'll get established on that. Actually, we have to go ahead and request our ground power. So FS actions, ground services, set wheel chalks, request. We can try and request the jetway. If we change this to jetway and go back, we may be able to get a jetway over here. No, might be too far. Let's try it again. Yeah, it's too far away. We're not going to be able to capture that, but that's okay. We'll go overhead, APU bleed switch. Oh, let's get established on the ground power. There we go. Our APU bleed switch can go to off. Our APU can come off. That will shut down. Pack switch can go to off. Isolation valve can go to closed, or I think it's open actually. Probe heat switches can come off. Window heats can come off. Yaw damper can come off. Fuel pumps can come off. Should have turned our taxi light switches off already, but I forgot to. Anti-collision lights can come off. We'll leave our logo light on. And that should be everything. Welcome to New Orleans. If you guys enjoyed this flight, be sure to hit that like button. Definitely subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you guys on the next flight.